Hey everyone, welcome back to the Leicester City Women's wrap-up show. I'm joined once again by James. How are you, James?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
That's good to hear. We're live again. It's been a while. I'm like, do I wear my Leicester kit? Do I not? Because the game was also like 2 days ago. It's just a weird schedule with everything going on.
Yeah, but you have got your Leicester kit on, so that's always a good start.
Yeah, I figured it's a post-match review, so I might as well. So it was a bit tricky with this one. Unfortunately, the game was not shown live on the FA Player, which was a bummer, but honestly, I will take it because it wasn't postponed. So I'm happy. It feels so good to watch them play again, and it's great to have a win. 1-0 over Crystal Palace. What were your thoughts overall? How do you feel after that win?
I thought it was a really good win, actually. Watched the highlights as well as the full game. The highlights and just sort of like a Leicester City highlight reel, if I'm perfectly honest. But I thought as the overall game, I was really surprised with how sharp we were. We discussed in the previous show how they'd not played in 7 weeks, and how was it going to go. But I was really impressed with how sharp they were, and I think it's all on the same lines we spoke about with Jonathan and a few weeks ago. Around they've got this amazing training facility now, where they are still training, and they're obviously having a few practice games between them. But that's shown at the weekend of how sharp they were as a team and how well bonded they were as a team. So I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And going off your comments there, we didn't go into this game with our regular lineup. We did see a few changes, but we still saw a lot of strength and a lot of connection between the players, which was awesome to see. This just goes to show that this team is so well balanced, and like you said, it's good to get the win. And it has been about 7 weeks since our last league game. So of course, going into this, we're a bit unsure as to how the game's going to go, but we got the result. We got the win, and we all know how important this win was. We're still top of the table. We're still tied with Durham, but we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to next weekend's game, but we'll get into that later. So we did see a lot of strength going into the game. We didn't start with our usual lineup. How did you feel when you saw the lineup drop?
So in the lineup, I was really surprised because obviously I'd not seen there'd been any injuries, and there's been, obviously we just discussed the big week gap. So I was quite surprised with the lineup. However, tactically, it probably was a good lineup, and it worked really well for us. Against we knew Crystal Palace would be a tough team to beat, but we seemed to just have our heads on, and the game we played was just unreal. Hannah Kane scored. She had an unbelievable game. Obviously she's been injured. It's good to see her back. Scored her debut goal, and her running was just unbelievable. Her control with the ball, and I know we talk about the Flint Rocket highlight reel that we always talk about, but the technique to score that goal from the way the ball was played in, that's an unbelievable technique, because generally when you do that, it just goes sky high.
Oh yeah, that was a clean strike. that was a nice strike. We'll give her that. And like you mentioned, like, she's coming back from injury, and she did come to us from Everton, and I'm just so happy to see her doing so well with us, especially coming off of an injury like that. She did talk with, I believe it was Leicester magazine, basically about her injury and coming back, and how she's so thankful that she has this opportunity again. And I really hope we can see more of her. I definitely think we will. She was amazing in the Palace game. Like you said, that goal was great, and she made some good runs. In the second half, she also had another chance that went wide of the net, but she was up there. She was going for those goals, and unfortunately, she didn't put any more in, but it's okay. It's still a really good performance from her. So obviously the forwards were awesome in this game. Millie Farrow was another player that stood out for me. She typically comes on as a substitution, but she did start this week, and I've always rated her highly as a player. She's always been like a power sub to me. Like, she comes on and she scores, or she comes on and she pushes the ball forward and someone else scores. And I was just really happy to see her playing. She also had some opportunities on net as well that did go a bit wide, but like I said, she was still awesome, and it was so nice to see her playing. Is there anyone else that really stood out for you?
I thought, and I was going to touch this, our debutants had a great one. Shannon O'Brien, I thought she was really good. I've not really seen much about her. I know that we've talked on the show a little bit about her, but not really seen her play. But I thought, as somebody coming into a team that's well established, they're all playing well together, and to kind of fit in, I thought she had a really good game.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to mention her as well. Like, she was doing awesome. It was so good. She has so much movement on the ball. She was creating opportunities as well. She was really pushing forward. Technique is amazing. But I'm not surprised. Like, we've seen her in the league previously, and she's a great player. I'm just happy to see her with us now. So that's awesome. One player that really stood out for me, and I I was just so impressed, was Esme Degraff. She was great defensively. She was shutting down Palace like crazy. She was keeping everything out of there. She was all over, just trying to make sure that she was covering up any spots defensively, and she was awesome. All of her players are awesome. But yeah, she was really impressive for me, and she also had a shot. She had a good attempt, and it was either right before or right after the second half. I think it was right before. She caught the fingertips of the goalkeeper. She had such a good chance on goal, and if that went in, I would have just added to her amazing performance.
So probably one thing that I probably want to ask you is what Yasmin is. What did you think to the obviously new people starting? We've not played a long time. Were you surprised with how much energy we came out with from the as soon as the whistle went? It was kind of get the ball, dominate them, try and get into their back four as best as we could, and we seem to do that time and time again. So I know we spoke to Jonathan about he's tried his best to make sure everyone's focused on each game at a time rather than thinking about we need to win the league and take one game at a time and see how that goes. And I think for me that worked really well. But I wonder what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I agree there, definitely. There were some spots where we were a bit slower than we usually would be. But I think what surprised me the most was not our energy, but Palace's energy. Because we didn't go out there with Flint or Bailey Gale. And you would expect Palace to want to kind of push more. And they'd want to expose us in the back a bit more. If we don't have that drive forward that we usually do that they're used to, I was surprised that they kind of held back. I felt as if they were holding back a lot. Because if you look back at our game in October, like, they had scored on us, and then we didn't score until right before halftime after getting that red card. And the Palace that we saw, I was not expecting. Our energy, it was awesome. There were, like I said before, there were some times where I was like, oh, like, we kind of seem like we're slowing down a bit. We did lose possession a handful of times. It was a bit 50-50 for me. But, I'm not here saying anything because I'm not too sure about how Palace were going into this game and how we were going into the game, of course. But yeah, it was, like I said, like, not what I expected. I guess being like a Leicester fan, you expect like goals on goals on goals at this point, but we've been seeing a lot of 1-0s lately. I'll take the wins. I'm not complaining, but we were also coming back from not playing for a while, so you had to go with it. But your energy point, second half, when we did bring on Flint and PBG, we saw like quite a boost in energy. Those are two players that definitely make an impact. They come on and PBG is fast. Like, she runs fast. So it was really good to see that. But yeah, just you could tell that we were in it to win it.
I think when they both came on, and I think they both give the same energy. They're them kind of players that when they come on, they boost the team's energy. Because we both know what they can do. They both know what they can do with and without the ball. And they're both exceptional players, but they're the kind of what you call star players that when they do get the ball, the whole energy of the team just gets better and better. And I think it helps spur the rest of them on, especially when you've been in a game where you've been non-stop running. It helps you to do more because you're like, these are on now. We can seal this game. We can finish it off completely. And I just saw Cam's comment. Totally agree with you there, Cam. One thing I did want to say is we touched on the preview show around Bianca Baptiste and how much of a worry she was. That back four kept her in their pockets.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was exceptional, the way they all played well together. We all see on Twitter around loads of photos around people emptying pockets in football matches. but I think she was probably our main worry that we spoke about in the preview show. And I think for me, it was really, really good to see that we kind of nullified her, cut off her service completely. And I think that might have been part of the game plan. You cut off her service and maybe you cut off their forward line.
Yeah. Like you said, like I was kind of surprised. I felt like I was going to see a lot of threat from her, but I guess like going into this, I was expecting Palace, like I said, to really push, and I was expecting her to really push as well. But it's also weird not having commentary, so I was kind of like, I'm not sure how things are going in every spot. But yeah, Baptiste is still such an outstanding player and phenomenal. She's threatening, of course, but in this game, yeah, like obviously it's just weird because everyone's been having postponements, so they're kind of in that weird situation like we are too, where it's like just trying to figure out when they're going to be playing. But yeah, we didn't concede, which I'm happy about. I'm really happy about that. So another player that really stood out, like just kind of talking about this energy and really pushing forward, Lashante Paul is outstanding on the wing. She goes up the sides, she's running up and down, and she's giving those chances like crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. She's one of them people that you see on the wing that you want them to do well. You see her runs. Obviously, his cross was unbelievable for the goal, picking people out. I like her as a player because she always looks up. Sometimes you get wingers that just run down the wing, whip balls in, and don't really look up. She's got a footballing brain. She looks and assesses who's around her and tries to pick out the perfect ball to score goals. And again, on Sunday, she was doing that. Her energy, her strength on the ball is unbelievable. And I think you mentioned the October game, but I think since then, as a team, we've improved so much.
Absolutely.
Yes, we've got new players coming in, but I think as a team, we're more together. We've got that faster pace coming in and we're breaking quicker. And I just think as a team since October, they've just grown and grown. And all the players we mentioned today seem to have come on. And Hannah Kane's coming back from injury. But I can just see great things for this team. And every time I watch them, whether it be highlights or the full game, they just seem to be improving game on game. And I think if you're going to win the league, I know a lot of players don't want to talk about winning the league until they get closer. But us fans obviously do want to talk about winning the league. It's in sight, let's be honest. If they keep playing the way they're playing and getting better, then surely end of the season, we're going to be champions.
Yeah, I hope to see it. I'd love to see it. Everyone would love to see it. That'd be so awesome. Yeah. So overall, what were your thoughts on this match?
I'm not going to have a rant about the FA player. I promised myself I wasn't going to have a rant. And I've been down to Corn a few times. One thing that always surprised me is when it's on the FA player is someone must stand on top of one of the stands to film it. Because when it goes into one corner, I can't see any. It's just a stand. That's all you can see. And that really annoys me every time. I'm not going to complain, honestly. But overall, yeah, I thought it was a great performance, great team performance. One thing I did want to touch on, we talk about Corn. As you can see, it's not a very big ground. Mm-hmm. I think that if we do go up, do we have to change grounds because there's certain regulations about the WSL, isn't there?
That I'm not too sure on, but I definitely think it's something that is to be considered. But right now, I guess we just got to kind of put our focus on where we are now and aim for that goal, and hopefully it happens. I mean, of course, it'd be great to see a new facility and just some higher quality pitches, but don't know what's going to happen there.
I'm going to talk about winning the league every week until it happens. So, but overall performance, I thought was unbelievable. To be honest, I was expecting a bit more from Crystal Palace. Seen them a few times on their highlight reels. They seem, like you said, they didn't seem to have that energy that we saw in October. Maybe that's because they may not have trained as much as we have. I know we talk about the training facilities a lot, but when everyone else is getting postponed, we can train inside. We've got that amazing training facility where we can go inside and train, and when it's okay, we can train outside. So I think that's probably helps us a lot. And maybe they hadn't trained as much, I don't know, but we just seem to have that so much more energy than they did. And I think that helped us a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And like even looking back at our Conti Cup match against them, that was another 1-0 win over them, and they did put up a fight. So going into this, I was nervous a little bit because it's like Palace was really pushing us, and now we saw another 1-0, of course, but like you said, that energy was just completely different. but I do want to give credit to Palace's keeper because she was outstanding. She made some good saves. She made some good passes, some good movement. Her distribution was great. So she's definitely a player that I want to give some credit to on Palace's side.
Yeah, surely we should be signing people like that. Obviously, with a name like Morgan, should they not be playing for us anymore?
So I was thinking, I was like, sometimes I'm getting a bit confused.
But yeah, there were quite a few shots which I thought were difficult. She held on to a lot of balls where I thought maybe she could have palmed it different directions. And I thought as a goalkeeper, she was proper on form. And I think it's credit, although if you look at it, we did attack quite a lot of the game. And I think a huge credit to her, as you said, it was 1-0. I think it could have been 3 or 4-0. But if it wasn't for her, so yeah, great on their side, unbelievable goalkeeper, and helped them so much. And obviously didn't help us that much, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were a few times, like you said, we could have seen like 3 or 4, but yeah, Palace did push us a little bit. Like in that first half, they were kind of, when we were losing that possession in those moments, they were taking advantage of that, but they weren't really doing much with their possession. And I guess that's just why the game ended how it ended. But looking into our future fixtures, we've got London Bees on Sunday. Going into that match, I'm feeling pretty good. They just came off of a 3-0 loss against Liverpool. How are you feeling going into that one? You put the
fixing. Yeah, I'm quite confident actually. London Bees, I think they play at Barnet's ground. One thing I will say, I love the fact that London Bees play at the Hive. Sorry, it's just one of the things. Great. Yeah, so I think they've lost their last 4 on the bounce. Liverpool was 3-0. I think I think they're all must-win games, but I think this one is a must-win game. They're 10th. They are struggling a bit. Let's capitalise on that and score as many as we can and get them 3 points. We need to keep winning. We need to keep winning. I know Durham are doing the same, but we need to keep our momentum going, getting better and better, utilising a lot of the team more going forward, because obviously it could get a bit tight in the running. So I think overall, yeah, bring on the London Bees. I think although it's on their patch, I think we'll do well anyway. And I think last week shown us that we don't stick to the same 11. We can start rotating and giving opposition a bit more to think about than, okay, Flint's not playing. Who's going to play? Who's going to attack us? And let teams do a bit more homework around us, because that is what we want, because we are going to be that good.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going into this confident. I never like saying too much. But yeah, our last result against London Bees, we saw such a great goal from Flint. So I'm hoping to see another one, of course. And like you said, London Bees are 10th in the table. We're top of the table. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. Is there any players that you are kind of going to be watching for against London Bees based off this Palace performance?
Hannah Kane, if I'm honest. We said it's great for her to come back from injury, but she just the way it looked like she hadn't been injured. The way she was running, her movement off and on the ball, the way she was turning with the ball. Sometimes when you come back from injury, some of the players are a bit hesitant about going full in, turning on the ball, but she seemed to have the confidence like she'd been playing all season. I know she's worked hard off the pitch, and you can see that. But for me, I think this Sunday was going to be an absolute handful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm always saying absolutely because you're right. So she's definitely, like you said, like you couldn't tell that she's coming off of an injury. But like she went out there full confidence. She went out there, scored a goal, made so many opportunities, had so many other chances. It seemed like she had just been starting every single game and playing the full 90. Like you would have never known the difference. So she's definitely one to look for. I'm also going to say Esme Degraff. Like I mentioned before, she was just amazing in the back line. And I look forward to seeing what she does against London Bees. So it's going to be a good one. I'm excited.
Yep, so am I. Hopefully we'll get to watch it at some point. I'm presumably be on the FA player at some point. So hopefully we get to watch that, and we'll do another show around how that's gone. Hopefully a win. We'll be able to put the league up again, like we always do. Good seeing us top.
See us at the top.
Let's see if we can get the league up. There we are.
Beautiful.
One of the things that we are top, but seeing all that green as a Leicester fan, just, I mean, are we now eight on the bounce wins?
I believe so.
That's huge. It's not draws, it's wins. 8 wins in a row.
Yeah.
Is huge for, well, any team in any league. So let's keep that momentum going. As we said, the London Bees have lost the last 4. Durham have got Durham away at Blackburn. That could be a tough encounter for them. So fingers crossed Durham start to slip up with points and we can keep this momentum going and hopefully go on and be champions. And as I said, I'm not going to start banging on about us winning the league.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like the fact that we've gone 8 games winning streak, that's amazing. And considering if you look at, I believe it was last season, we finished 7th. So this shift has just been amazing. Like this is awesome to see. We're making moves. It's so awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. And like you mentioned, the FA player is so weird. Like we're doing a post-match reaction to a game that happened 2 days ago. And time zones are weird too. It makes it difficult, but good game overall. Any final closing comments?
No, just I think we'll go on and win Sunday. Hope everyone gets to watch it. I've seen we are live at the end of March against Coventry, so I look forward to that we can actually do a post-match when we've seen the game. But no, keep on going, keep on winning. Team's doing magnificent. So makes this show quite easy to do because we're quite positive and everything's working really well. So yeah, keep up the good work. All the stuff you've done as well, Hannah. You've been a great credit to our channel. So thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks for your help, James. It's always awesome getting to chat with you. I know you're usually behind the scenes and stuff, but now you've joined my panel and we're working together on this and it's just been awesome. Just wanted to add, I think our game against Durham will be shown on the FA Player. I really hope so on March 14th, I believe. So fingers crossed, hoping to that one being shown. I don't see why they wouldn't show it, but you never know with this stuff. It's hard to keep up. But yeah, an awesome performance, an awesome team. I'm really looking forward to London Bees on Sunday. So let's hope for another good result. I'm confident, but like I said, we always got to put some hope out there. You never know. But yeah, on to the next one. And it was great talking to you. Thanks for joining me once again. And I'll probably see you on Sunday. So yeah, and thanks to everyone who joined the live stream. I keep forgetting we're live again.
Yes, we are live.
I'm now seeing there's comments and stuff, but yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so thanks everyone. Also forgot to mention, and I know Neil will go on and be about this, is can you make sure you subscribe to our channel? If you follow the women's or the men's side, subscribe to us, then you'll get to see all the videos we're doing. We do previews, post-match for both the women's and the men's teams currently. So come join us online. Thanks everyone.